Welcome to another episode of Picks to Watch. With the mid-season update comes a brand new meta. We don't really care about that. So let's have a look at some of the fun and interesting champions that could be making their way to the Rift. If you hadn't guessed, from the flute and the ponytail, our first champion is none other than the montage maker Yasuo.
Who says I can't handle my drink?
While there were no direct buffs to the Sword Master, many item changes have made him a popular pick. Doran's shield has been very quickly rising in popularity thanks to the additional damage to minions along with the regeneration that you gain from taking damage from your opponents. You also get 2 health pots, which is lovely. This means that shields are the way to make a sword user's laning phase easier. Who'd have thought? Additionally, cost reductions were added to both Zeal and Infinity Edge, which are core items for Yasuo, meaning he can hit his power spikes earlier into the game. Aside from item changes, Yasuo also does very well against control mages like Syndra and Talia, given his great mobility to dodge skill shots. Or don't dodge, just make them face the wind, and then laugh. Ha! Finally, with tanks once again on the rise, the 50% additional armor penetration that he gets on his crits comes in quite handy, making him one of the strongest tank shredders left in the game. Remember that while he does have a lot of mobility, that is heavily reduced in tight jungle spaces with no minions, so be sure to pick your fights where you can best optimize his strengths. Otherwise your Soriers will be Sornos. Keeping with the theme of swords, our next pick continues to long for a worthy opponent. It's Fiora.
You have already lost.
The Grand Duelist is well known for her ability to scale, but often it can be hard to get there due to her weak laning phase. Thankfully for her, tanks are the taste of choice for most players right now, giving her the ping cushion she needs to scale up. Specifically, champions like Galio and Sejuani are great opponents for Fiora as they struggle to force her out of lane, while also having highly telegraphed crowd control for her to riposte. For an artist of the blade, she likes to build a lot of axes, with a primary focus on an early Tiamat for wave clear, followed by a Black Cleaver into Ravenous Hydra later. The biggest difference is you may now see a Guardian Angel being built as a third item, because it now builds from a VF sword, the bonus attack damage synergizes well with her kit, and it gives her wings! It's at this point though that her split pushing power becomes almost unstoppable. However, remember that while her dueling is strong, that doesn't mean she can win that 1v5. Trying to fight a full 5-man unit is an easy way to say au revoir to your pointy stick. Seeing as we have a theme for sharp things, let's continue with our next champion, who's found a creative way to make feathers really sharp. It's Xayah.
The next one to call me edgy is getting choked to death.
The Bird Lady should be considered more of a scaling hypercarry rather than a laning powerhouse. Largely, this is thanks to her short range, which makes it easy for long-range AD carries like Ashe and poke champions like Karma to harass Xayah without much risk of taking return damage. I expect her to be picked into champions that don't have the greatest amount of lane power like Ezreal and Jhin to give her the freedom to scale. For Xayah, there are 2 build paths that are currently prevailing. The first is Blade of the Ruin King followed by Runans and Black Cleaver, which provides more kiting ability and tank shredding power along with a stronger mid-game spike. The second is Essence Reaver into Runan's Hurricane followed by an Infinity Edge. This build takes longer to have an impact, but will be sure to rustle your feathers later into the game. Something important to remember is that Xayah has no dashes or escapes built into her kit aside from her ultimate. This means that just like trying to fly, you can either ascend to great heights or fall flat on your face.
Damn it!
Xayah isn't the only new champion looking to flourish their feathers, as our final pick to watch is the champion of charm, Rakan.
Party started!
The Birdman brings something new to the support role with his incredible mobility, providing new and interesting ways to create plays and opportunities for your team to capitalize on. He primarily focuses on creating picks or forcing engages, while also being able to effectively peel and protect his carries. What he lacks is wave clear and lane pressure, therefore long-range poke champions can often make his life rather difficult. He makes up for this though by being an effective roaming support. Ask your jungler to be your wingman and combine his battle dance with his grand entrance to show those other laners that there is love for everyone. When trying to impress the ladies, you should go for a Spell Thief's Edge followed by an Eye of the Watcher shortly after. The bonus move speed from the completed quest passive synergizes beautifully with his kit, as his dash speeds are made faster with the more movement speed that you have. Remember that as a support, the influx of gold that you generate isn't the greatest, therefore you might feel tankier than you actually are. Be smart about your engages, otherwise you may realize your charm doesn't work on everyone. That concludes it for this episode of Picks to Watch. If there are any fun or interesting champions that you're expecting, be sure to hit me up in the comments section below. With that, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I think I can make a pretty good Yasuo. I mean, watch this, okay? Hisagi! I mean, that was pretty good, right? It's pretty good. It's pretty good.